Have you ever stopped to wonder what separates people who simply grow old from those who continue to flourish well into their 70s, 80s, and even past 100? Doctors and researchers have uncovered some surprising truths. If you're over 70 and still practicing a handful of life-giving habits, you dramatically increase your chances of reaching a vibrant old age, full of joy, health, and purpose. Yet here's the sobering reality. Most people begin abandoning these habits far too early, unknowingly robbing themselves of years, sometimes even decades, of vitality. A landmark Harvard study that followed participants for over 20 years revealed something striking. Those who neglected these essential habits often shortened their lifespan by as much as 12 years. But those who embraced them, they didn't just add years to their lives, they added life to their years, staying sharper, stronger, and more fulfilled than their peers. The message is clear. Aging well isn't about luck, it's about daily choices. And the good news is, it's never too late to start. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 powerful, yet often overlooked habits that centenarians, the people who live past 100, practice almost without fail. These habits are not complicated. They don't require expensive equipment or radical changes. In fact, they're beautifully simple, and you can begin integrating them today, no matter your age. By the end of this journey, you'll discover that thriving in your later years isn't about avoiding aging, it's about mastering it. But before we dive in, I want to extend a personal invitation. If you're finding value in lessons like these, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss future videos that can truly make a difference in your health and happiness. And if you're watching right now, let me know you're here by commenting 1 below. It helps us continue to share these life-changing insights with more people who need them. Now, let's begin with the first secret to living not just long, but well. One of the most powerful traits shared among centenarians is something that may surprise you. They are lifelong learners. Yes, even into their 70s, 80s, and 90s, they continue to challenge their minds with new skills, hobbies, and knowledge. This isn't just about keeping busy with crossword puzzles or reading the daily newspaper. It's about embracing novelty, choosing activities that stretch the brain and create fresh neural connections. Take the story of Ruby, a 74-year-old grandmother. When her grandson showed her a coding app, she decided, against all expectations, to learn the programming language Python. At first, she struggled. She made mistakes, battled with error messages, and nearly gave up more than once. But she persevered, practicing just half an hour each morning. 2 years later, Ruby had built her own recipe organizing app, which her family now uses every week. But the real transformation was happening in Ruby's brain. Cognitive tests showed her memory had improved, her problem-solving was sharper, and her reaction time was quicker than before she started learning. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself and stay youthful through new learning. Think of your brain as a network of roads. Each time you learn something new, you're building highways that keep traffic flowing smoothly, even as age-related construction zones appear. Research from neuroscientist Dr. Michael Mazinick at the University of California, San Francisco, confirms that older adults who take on novel learning display brain activity patterns similar to people 20 or 30 years younger. In other words, learning keeps the mind young. But here's something many people get wrong. Lifelong learning doesn't have to mean academic study or tackling something impossibly difficult. What matters most is novelty and steady challenge. Learning to play the ukulele, practicing Spanish with an app, trying woodworking, or even mastering a new smartphone app. All of these stretch the brain in meaningful ways. Imagine this. Just 15 minutes of piano practice each day strengthens memory, coordination, and creativity. Knitting or pottery engages both hands and spatial reasoning, while cooking a new recipe activates problem-solving and sensory pathways. Even learning to navigate social media to stay connected with loved ones sharpens digital literacy and keeps the mind engaged with the world around you. The key is to start small and stick with it. Just as Ruby began with simple exercises before building her app, you can choose something that sparks your curiosity and grow step by step. Consistency, not intensity, is what creates lasting change in the brain. If you're listening right now, ask yourself, what skill have you always wanted to try? Perhaps painting, gardening, or playing a musical instrument. Leave your answer in the comments. You never know. Your idea might inspire someone else to take that first step. The second key behavior that sets centenarians apart is their commitment to strong, meaningful social connections. This isn't just about having a wide network of acquaintances. Instead, it's about cultivating deep, lasting relationships that provide emotional support, shared experiences, and a sense of belonging. The bonds these individuals form are vital to their overall well-being and longevity. Take the story of Stanley, a 78-year-old man who lived a quiet, isolated life after the death of his wife, with whom he had spent over 50 years. For months, Stanley withdrew from family, friends, and the world around him. His children, noticing the changes in him, his forgetfulness, lack of interest in hobbies, and growing sadness, decided to intervene. They encouraged him to join a local community garden, not as a big leap, but as a simple way to get out of the house and meet people. At first, Stanley resisted. He felt disconnected from the world and unsure of his place. But as he spent more time in the garden, something incredible happened. Stanley met Maria, a retired teacher, and David, an 80-year-old war veteran. Together, the three of them formed a tight-knit group, bonding over shared meals and stories while tending to the garden. Within 6 months, Stanley's family noticed a profound transformation. His memory was sharper, his energy returned, and perhaps most importantly, he was smiling again. The simple act of connecting with others had brought him back to life in ways no medication could. What Stanley experienced aligns with the findings from the Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest-running studies on human well-being. This research tracked thousands of individuals for over 80 years and revealed a profound truth. The quality of our social relationships is the strongest predictor of happiness and longevity. In fact, individuals with strong social connections live, on average, 7 years longer than those who are isolated. On the flip side, loneliness is dangerous. Studies have shown that social isolation is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, increasing inflammation, weakening the immune system, and accelerating the aging process. In fact, loneliness has been linked to higher rates of heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. Dr. Susan Pinker, who studied the blue zones, regions in the world where people routinely live past 100, has found that social connection is a hallmark of these areas. In places like Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy, individuals are deeply embedded in social networks that span generations. These intergenerational relationships are crucial for both mental and physical health. The good news is that it's never too late to strengthen your social connections. Whether it's through joining a book club, volunteering, or simply reaching out to an old friend, you can begin to build and nurture relationships that will sustain you well into your later years. If you're unsure where to start, consider these simple steps. Join interest-based groups. Look for local or online communities that align with your passions. whether it's gardening, reading, or cooking. These groups often form close bonds around shared interests. Prioritize face-to-face interaction. While video calls and texting are useful, nothing beats the depth of connection found in person. Make an effort to meet friends for coffee or participate in community events. Be a connector. Introduce people from different parts of your life. Helping friends meet one another not only strengthens your social circle, but also builds a sense of community. Practice active listening. Take time to truly listen when someone is speaking. Ask thoughtful questions and show that you care. People value being heard, and these small acts of kindness deepen relationships. Embrace intergenerational friendships. Spending time with younger individuals keeps you mentally sharp and offers fresh perspectives. It's a two-way street. Your wisdom enriches their lives just as much as their energy and enthusiasm invigorate you. And remember, even if you're naturally introverted, small steps can make a big difference. A simple coffee date with a friend can be just as rewarding as a larger social gathering. Now, let me ask you, who in your life could you reach out to today to rekindle a connection? Perhaps a phone call to a loved one, or an invitation for coffee with a friend you haven't seen in a while. Share your plans in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're prioritizing your relationships. Now let's talk about the third behavior that helps centenarians thrive: natural movement. This doesn't mean hitting the gym every day or running marathons. It's about staying active through everyday life. The secret is to integrate movement into your routine in ways that feel natural and sustainable. This distinction is key because many people believe they must engage in formal exercise to stay fit. But centenarians show us a different, more balanced approach. Take Carmen, an 83-year-old woman who embodies this principle. Carmen has never been a fan of structured workouts or gym memberships, but she's in better shape than many people half her age. How does she do it? By embracing natural movement throughout her day. Carmen tends to a large vegetable garden, walks to the local market, and avoids using the elevator. She cares for her great-grandchildren and helps her neighbors move furniture when needed. These small, daily activities keep her body strong and her energy levels high. This approach mirrors the lifestyle of people in blue zones, areas where people routinely live past 100. In places like Sardinia, Italy, Okinawa, Japan, and Nicoya, Costa Rica, physical activity is a part of everyday life. People walk up hills while tending to animals, garden, and practice Tai Chi, all without considering it exercise. These activities are ingrained in their daily routines, keeping their bodies active in ways that feel purposeful and natural. Why does this matter? Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that individuals who stay naturally active throughout the day have better balance, stronger bones, improved cardiovascular health, and sharper cognitive function compared to those who only exercise in short bursts. In fact, people who engage in regular, low-intensity movement throughout their day tend to have fewer falls, which are a major cause of injury for older adults. One of the great things about natural movement is that it doesn't require special equipment or even a specific time set aside for exercise. It's about finding ways to move while doing the things you already enjoy. Here are some simple ways to integrate natural movement into your life. Walk for errands. Next time you need to go to the bank, the pharmacy, or the grocery store, consider walking instead of driving. It not only gets you moving, but also gives you a chance to enjoy the fresh air and clear your mind. Take phone calls while standing or walking. If you have a call to make, stand up and move around while chatting. This simple change will keep your body engaged and improve circulation. Use the stairs. Instead of waiting for the elevator, take the stairs. Even one flight can make a difference over time. You'll strengthen your legs and improve your cardiovascular health without even thinking about it. Garden or do yard work. Whether you have a large garden or a small balcony, tending to plants engages both your body and your mind. Gardening can be a great form of natural movement, providing light strength-building activity and a sense of accomplishment. Dance while doing chores. Put on some music while you're cleaning or cooking. You'll be surprised how quickly you start moving and how much fun it is to add a little rhythm to your daily routine. Even if mobility is limited, there are still ways to stay active. Focus on exercises that you can do while seated, or try standing on one foot while brushing your teeth to improve balance. Small, consistent efforts are the key to maintaining mobility as you age. Incorporating natural movement into your day is also a great way to stay connected to your surroundings. Whether you're walking around the block, dancing in your kitchen, or carrying groceries, these activities remind you that staying active isn't about striving for perfection, but about living in a way that honors your body. So, think about your own day. What small, natural movements can you add to your routine? Maybe you could take a walk after lunch or stand while watching TV. Let us know in the comments what natural movements you're going to try to integrate into your daily life. Now, let's explore the fourth behavior that sets centenarians apart: having a strong sense of purpose. In many cultures, this sense of purpose is called ikigai, a Japanese term that refers to the reason you wake up every morning. It's more than just a goal or a hobby. It's the thread that ties everything together, the motivation that keeps you going through the ups and downs of life. Take Leonard, a 79-year-old retired accountant. After decades of work, Leonard found himself at a crossroads. When he retired, he lost the structure and routine that had once defined his days. He spent several months feeling aimless, watching TV and feeling a slow, creeping sense of irrelevance. His life, once so full of purpose, now seemed empty. But then, Leonard's life took a turn when a neighbor mentioned that the local elementary school was looking for volunteer reading tutors. At first, Leonard was hesitant. He didn't know anything about teaching, and he felt out of place around young children. But despite his doubts, he decided to give it a try. What happened next was nothing short of transformative. Leonard started working with a second grader named Alex, who had struggled with reading. Over the weeks, they bonded over small victories: Alex's growing ability to sound out words and his newfound confidence. Leonard found joy in this simple act of teaching, and his sense of purpose was reignited. By the time Leonard had been tutoring for a few months, he had become a beloved figure at the school. He tutored multiple children and even shared stories from his own life, enriching the classroom with his wisdom. The most profound change, however, was within Leonard himself. His mind felt clearer, and he had regained a sense of meaning in his life. The research on purpose and aging is compelling. Studies, including those conducted at Blue Zones and at the Rush Memory and Aging Project, show that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer and have a lower risk of cognitive decline, heart disease, and other chronic conditions. It's as if purpose acts as a shield, protecting you against the challenges of aging. One of the most important aspects of having a sense of purpose is that it doesn't have to come from one monumental act. It can be small, but it needs to be meaningful. Whether it's helping others, contributing to your community, or simply pursuing something that brings you joy. Having a sense of purpose aligns your actions with your values, which leads to better overall health and happiness. So, how can you cultivate a strong sense of purpose in your own life? Here are a few practical steps. Reflect on what matters most to you. Think about the activities or causes that bring you joy and fulfillment. Is it helping others? Creating something new? Perhaps it's spending time with family or volunteering for a cause close to your heart. Start small. Purpose doesn't have to be a grand, life-changing mission. Even small acts of kindness or involvement can bring immense meaning to your life. Volunteer at a local organization. Offer your expertise to someone who needs it, or take on a mentorship role. Use your skills and experiences. If you've spent years honing a particular skill, whether it's baking, fixing things, or telling stories, consider how you could share that knowledge with others. There's tremendous value in passing on what you know to a younger generation. Stay open to new opportunities. Your sense of purpose can evolve over time. Leonard, for instance, found his purpose in tutoring, even though he didn't expect it. Stay open to trying new things and exploring new roles in your community or family. The key is to stay active in finding ways to contribute, even if it's on a smaller scale than you originally envisioned. When you do, you'll find that purpose becomes a driving force, and it will guide you through the later years of life with joy, focus, and resilience. So, take a moment now and reflect. What's something you could do today or this week to bring a little more purpose into your life? Whether it's volunteering, mentoring, or simply helping a neighbor, it's never too late to find that spark again. The fifth behavior that separates centenarians from the rest is perhaps the most surprising of all: maintaining an optimistic outlook and practicing gratitude, even in the face of life's inevitable challenges. It's not about ignoring the difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to focus on the positive aspects of life while acknowledging the hardships. This mindset fosters resilience, strengthens mental health, and helps to navigate the toughest of times. Take Rosetta, an 86-year-old woman who has experienced her share of losses and physical struggles. She lost her husband to cancer, survived a heart attack, and now lives with arthritis that makes everyday tasks like buttoning a shirt or opening a jar a challenge. Despite these trials, Rosetta is known in her neighborhood for being a ray of sunshine. She always has a kind word or a funny story to share, and neighbors often describe her as the heart of the community. Each morning, Rosetta practices a ritual that has become the cornerstone of her mental and emotional resilience: gratitude journaling. She writes down 3 things she is thankful for, no matter how small. Yesterday's entries might have been simple, like the sight of a bright red cardinal at her bird feeder, a phone call from her daughter, or the fact that her hands still function well enough for her to write. These small moments, collected each day, help Rosetta stay grounded in the good, even when life seems overwhelmingly difficult. When asked how she stays so positive, Rosetta offers a simple but powerful answer. I decided long ago that I could dwell on what I've lost, or I could celebrate what I still have. Both are true, but only one gives me the energy to keep going. Rosetta's approach is not just a personal philosophy, it's supported by science. Studies, including the well-known Harvard study of adult development, have shown that optimism is linked to longer life expectancy, better cardiovascular health, and stronger immune systems. People with an optimistic outlook tend to live 11 to 15% longer than their more pessimistic counterparts. This positive mindset is not just about feeling good emotionally. It translates into real physical health benefits. In fact, research led by Dr. Suzanne Segerstrom, a psychologist at the University of Kentucky, has shown that optimists have longer telomeres, which are the protective caps on chromosomes. Telomeres shorten as we age, but in optimists they tend to stay longer, which essentially slows down cellular aging. Optimism, it seems, has the power to delay the physical effects of aging at the cellular level. What's even more remarkable is that optimism is not a fixed trait. It can be cultivated at any age. It's a skill that anyone can develop, even if it doesn't come naturally. True optimism isn't about ignoring life's challenges. It's about believing that, despite difficulties, you can influence the outcomes in your life, and that setbacks are temporary. Alongside optimism, practicing gratitude has been shown to enhance well-being. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading researcher in the field of gratitude, found that people who regularly express gratitude experience better sleep, improved relationships, and higher life satisfaction. Gratitude has a profound ability to rewire the brain, making you more attuned to the positive aspects of life, which in turn creates a virtuous cycle of happiness and health. So, how can you incorporate gratitude and optimism into your daily life? Here are a few practical tips. Start a gratitude practice. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. Simple things like the warmth of a morning cup of coffee, a pleasant conversation, or a beautiful sunset are enough. Over time, this habit trains your brain to focus on the positive. Practice positive reframing. When faced with challenges, try to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing solely on the problem, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or, how might this make me stronger? This reframe can turn obstacles into opportunities for growth. Celebrate small wins. Take time to acknowledge even the smallest victories. Did you walk a bit farther today, despite joint pain? Did you have a meaningful conversation with a friend? Celebrating these moments builds a sense of achievement and strengthens optimism. Limit exposure to negative media. While staying informed is important, constant exposure to negative news can skew your perspective. Consider limiting time spent on distressing media and seek out uplifting content, such as positive podcasts, books, or inspiring community stories. Surround yourself with positive people. Optimism is contagious. Try to spend more time with people who uplift you, whether they're family, friends, or like-minded individuals in your community. Their positive energy will influence your own mindset. Use positive self-talk. Pay attention to your internal dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, gently challenge those thoughts. Instead of saying, "I'm too old to learn this," try saying, "I'm learning at my own pace, and that's okay." Positive self-talk reinforces resilience and boosts confidence. As you practice these strategies, you'll begin to notice a shift in your overall mindset. Life's challenges will still come, but with gratitude and optimism, you'll find you have the strength and perspective to handle them with grace. Let me ask you, what's one thing you're genuinely grateful for today? How do you stay hopeful during tough times? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your optimism might just inspire someone else to see the brighter side of life. As we explore the final key behavior of centenarians, it's important to understand that these 5 behaviors, lifelong learning, strong social connections, natural movement, a sense of purpose, and optimism, don't exist in isolation. Rather, they all work together, creating a synergy that magnifies the benefits of each individual behavior. When combined, these habits form a powerful formula for thriving well beyond 100. Let's take a look at Walter, a 94-year-old man who is the embodiment of these 5 behaviors. At 85, Walter decided to learn how to use a computer to stay in touch with his grandchildren, who lived across the country. He didn't just stop there. He mastered video chatting, sending photos, and even learning how to navigate social media to keep up with his loved ones. This kept his mind sharp and connected him to his family in meaningful ways. But Walter didn't stop at technology. He also volunteers twice a week at an animal shelter, walking dogs and helping with various tasks. Instead of driving, he walks to the shelter, keeping himself active while doing something meaningful. Each morning, he starts his day with a gratitude journal, listing small joys, such as the warmth of his blanket, the friendly dog he walked, or the vibrant sunrise he saw. Walter's days are full of purpose, connection, learning, and movement. His approach to aging isn't about merely existing. He's living life to the fullest, embracing each day with vitality and joy. He's proof that age is just a number, and that thriving is a choice, not a given. On the other hand, many individuals who neglect these key behaviors tend to experience isolation, physical decline, and a mindset focused on aging rather than living. It's easy to fall into the trap of viewing aging as a decline, a slow slide into an inevitable loss of vitality. But the truth is, aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. It can mean a shift in focus, a deeper connection to what matters most, and a chance to rediscover the things that bring you joy. So, as you reflect on the 5 behaviors we've discussed, consider how they might work together in your own life. If you're learning new skills, you may find that it leads to new social connections. If you're staying active through daily movement, you might also be building relationships with neighbors or family members. If you're focusing on purpose and gratitude, you may find that these practices naturally boost your optimism and mental well-being. The good news is that it's never too late to start. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in one day. Instead, focus on taking small steps toward these behaviors. You might begin by learning something new, calling a friend, taking a walk, or jotting down a few things you're thankful for. These small changes can create a ripple effect that transforms your approach to aging. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 behaviors resonates with you the most? What's one thing you'll start doing today to live with more purpose, connection, and joy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights may inspire someone else to take action and create their own thriving future. As we close, remember this. Thriving in your later years is not about resisting aging. It's about embracing it with wisdom, intention, and joy. By incorporating these 5 powerful behaviors into your life, you're not just adding years to your life. You're adding life to your years. Now that we've discussed the 5 key behaviors that help centenarians live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives, let's dive deeper into why these behaviors are so effective. What is it about lifelong learning, strong social connections, natural movement, a sense of purpose, and optimism that helps people thrive into their 90s and beyond? The answer lies in how these behaviors impact the brain and body, both of which undergo significant changes as we age. Our physical and mental health is shaped by our habits, and it's the decisions we make every day that either accelerate or slow down the aging process. Lifelong learning. When we engage in new learning, we don't just add knowledge to our mental toolbox. We actively strengthen the brain. Research has shown that learning new things stimulates the brain's ability to form new neural pathways, which helps to maintain cognitive function well into old age. Neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself, is most pronounced when we challenge our minds in new and creative ways. This process of constant adaptation is particularly important in fighting age-related cognitive decline. The more we challenge our brains with new skills, whether learning a language, picking up a musical instrument, or mastering a new hobby, the more we can protect ourselves from conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Studies have shown that people who engage in regular mental challenges experience better memory, faster reaction times, and enhanced problem-solving skills. In fact, learning something entirely new can increase your cognitive reserves, giving you a brain that functions like someone 20 years younger. Strong social connections. The importance of social relationships in promoting longevity cannot be overstated. Social isolation and loneliness are linked to a range of health issues, including depression, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular problems. On the other hand, having a solid network of friends, family, and community provides emotional support, reduces stress, and even boosts the immune system. In the blue zones, where people routinely live past 100, strong social ties are woven into daily life. These communities prioritize face-to-face interactions and value intergenerational relationships. For example, in Okinawa, Japan, elders are often surrounded by friends, family, and neighbors, and their social roles remain active throughout their lives. They mentor younger generations, participate in community events, and remain involved in local activities. This connection to others helps them stay emotionally fulfilled and physically healthy. Natural movement. It's easy to think that in order to stay fit as we age, we need to follow rigorous workout routines. However, centenarians demonstrate that physical activity doesn't have to be structured or strenuous to be effective. Instead, it's about staying active through daily, purposeful movement. Natural movement, such as walking, gardening, cooking, or even dancing while doing chores, keeps the body strong without the need for a gym membership or intense training sessions. Regular movement helps maintain joint mobility, improve circulation, and support muscle strength. It also reduces the risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and arthritis. In fact, research has shown that adults who engage in light to moderate physical activity on a regular basis have lower rates of disability and live longer, healthier lives. The beauty of natural movement is that it's sustainable. It doesn't feel like a burden or a chore, but a part of daily life. When physical activity is integrated into daily routines, it becomes second nature and doesn't require extra time or effort to maintain. Whether it's gardening, walking to the store, or playing with grandchildren, these small movements can have a profound impact on your overall health and well-being. A strong sense of purpose. A strong sense of purpose is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity. When we have something to live for, something that drives us to get out of bed every morning, we're more likely to experience better physical and mental health. People with a clear sense of purpose tend to have lower rates of depression, reduced stress, and a stronger immune system. In many cases, purpose can also provide a buffer against the challenges of aging. A sense of meaning helps people cope with setbacks, whether that's dealing with health issues, loss, or the natural physical changes that come with age. When we have a reason to keep moving forward, it becomes easier to overcome obstacles and remain engaged with life. In blue zones, having a sense of purpose is a central part of life. Whether it's through volunteering, mentoring, or contributing to the family, centenarians find ways to stay connected to their communities and maintain a sense of meaning. The idea of ikigai in Japan, for example, emphasizes finding joy and purpose in everyday activities. Optimism and gratitude. Finally, optimism and gratitude are crucial components of living a long, healthy life. A positive outlook on life can protect against stress, depression, and anxiety, three major contributors to physical decline in older adults. People who practice gratitude and maintain an optimistic mindset have lower levels of inflammation, better heart health, and a stronger immune system. Practicing gratitude rewires the brain to focus on the positive aspects of life, even when challenges arise. This mindset helps reduce the impact of stress and fosters a sense of well-being. Additionally, optimistic people tend to have better relationships, which leads to stronger social connections and a deeper sense of community. As we've seen from Rosetta's story, focusing on the good things in life, no matter how small, can transform your mental and physical health. When we prioritize gratitude, we cultivate a sense of appreciation for the present moment and for the simple joys of life. So, as we conclude this section, remember that these 5 behaviors don't just add years to your life. They make those years better, healthier, and more fulfilling. The combination of lifelong learning, Strong social connections, natural movement, a sense of purpose, and optimism forms the foundation for a vibrant and meaningful existence, no matter your age. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Which of these behaviors do you already embrace? And which could you start incorporating more intentionally? Now that we've seen how these 5 behaviors can positively impact our health, let's dive into some real-life examples of individuals who have embraced these principles and the remarkable transformations they've experienced as a result. These stories aren't just inspiring. They show that it's never too late to adopt these habits and begin living your life with intention and vitality. Take the story of Grace, a 71-year-old retiree who decided to pursue a lifelong dream of learning to paint. For most of her life, Grace was focused on her family and career, leaving little time for her own personal passions. But after retiring, Grace realized that she had the freedom to explore her creative side. She signed up for an art class at the local community center. Despite feeling a bit intimidated by the idea of picking up a paintbrush for the first time. At first, Grace struggled. Her paintings didn't turn out as she had imagined, and she faced the frustration of learning a new skill. But something amazing began to happen. As she continued attending the class and practicing her craft, Grace noticed a profound shift in her mindset. Her confidence grew, and she started seeing improvement in her technique. But more than that, she began to feel more connected to herself. As Grace honed her artistic abilities, she also built new friendships with her fellow class members. These social connections became an integral part of her life. In fact, Grace's painting class turned into a regular social outing where she would bond with others over shared experiences and mutual encouragement. The combination of learning, socializing, and self-expression provided her with a renewed sense of purpose. Grace's story exemplifies how embracing lifelong learning, nurturing social connections, and pursuing something that ignites a sense of creativity can help you rediscover joy and meaning in your life, regardless of your age. Similarly, let's look at the example of David, a 77-year-old man who made the decision to start volunteering at a local food bank after his wife passed away. After her death, David felt a deep sense of loneliness and loss. But rather than letting grief consume him, he chose to find a way to make a positive impact on his community. David began working at the food bank once a week, sorting donations and distributing food to families in need. Over time, he formed connections with other volunteers and the people he helped. He learned new skills, found purpose in his work, and, most importantly, rediscovered a sense of belonging. His efforts not only benefited others, but they also had a profound impact on his own well-being. David's story is a powerful reminder that finding a sense of purpose doesn't just happen automatically. It requires intentional effort. It can come from helping others, taking on new roles, or simply being a part of something bigger than yourself. And by doing so, you can not only make a difference in your community, but also improve your own physical and emotional health. These stories are not just heartwarming. They're grounded in the science of aging and health. Research shows that people who find ways to stay engaged and active in their later years enjoy better mental and physical health, improved emotional well-being, and a longer lifespan. One study from the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, found that people who volunteered regularly reported better overall health, lower levels of depression, and increased life satisfaction. And it's not just about volunteering. Any activity that gives you a sense of purpose, whether it's caring for others, contributing to your community, or pursuing a creative passion, can have significant health benefits. So, if you're thinking about how you can start incorporating these behaviors into your own life, take a moment to reflect on what sparks your interest and what brings you joy. It could be a hobby you've always wanted to try, a skill you'd like to learn, or a cause you feel passionate about. Whatever it is, make a commitment to start today, because the benefits of these behaviors will begin to take root almost immediately. As you move forward, remember, it's not about achieving perfection or following a strict set of rules. It's about taking small, consistent steps to improve your life and your health, no matter where you're starting from. What's one thing you're excited to try or explore based on the stories you've heard in this video? Perhaps it's signing up for a class, reaching out to a friend, or taking up a new physical activity. Whatever it is, take that first step today. It's never too late to start living the life you deserve, full of joy, connection, and purpose. As we continue exploring how centenarians live fulfilling, vibrant lives, let's take a deeper look at the powerful synergy between these 5 behaviors and how they intertwine to create a well-rounded, healthy lifestyle. What makes these habits so effective is not just that they are practiced individually, but that they work together to support and amplify each other. Consider this. Learning new things keeps your mind sharp and your brain young. But when you do so within a social setting, like a class or a group activity, you not only expand your knowledge, you also build relationships. These new connections help nurture your emotional well-being, creating a strong support network. And as you feel more connected to others, your sense of purpose grows, because helping others or sharing new knowledge becomes a meaningful way to contribute to. Now add in natural movement. When you're regularly moving, whether it's through gardening, walking to the store, or dancing while you do chores, you're supporting your body's ability to keep up with your brain's increasing activity. Physical activity helps maintain muscle mass, balance, and heart health, all of which are essential as we age. It's the perfect balance. The mind remains sharp, and the body stays strong. Optimism and gratitude add the final layer. When you approach life with a positive mindset, not only are you more likely to make healthier decisions, but you're also better able to enjoy the process of aging. By focusing on the good, you open yourself to more opportunities for learning, connection, and purpose. Your emotional resilience improves, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and optimism. This interconnectedness is why these behaviors are so effective in promoting longevity. They don't just target one aspect of health. They address the mind, body, and spirit. They form a holistic approach to aging that helps you stay engaged, happy, and fulfilled as you move through life's later stages. Let's take another look at how real-life examples demonstrate the power of these behaviors working together. Take Jean, an 82-year-old retired nurse, who started volunteering at a local hospital to support patients in need. As she was helping others, she also learned new skills, such as how to use modern technology to assist patients. John became a part of a larger community of volunteers, forming meaningful friendships with others who shared her passion for helping others. Through volunteering, Jean found a new sense of purpose that revitalized her spirit. She also walked to the hospital every day, adding natural movement into her routine. And as she shared her experiences with other volunteers, she practiced gratitude, reflecting on the impact she was having on others. In Jean's case, all 5 behaviors came together to create a thriving, purpose-driven life. She didn't just volunteer for the sake of helping others. She experienced personal growth, mental clarity, and physical health. And through it all, she built a strong network of supportive relationships. John's story illustrates how powerful it can be to approach aging with a mindset that embraces all of these behaviors. By integrating lifelong learning, staying physically active, nurturing strong social ties, pursuing a sense of purpose, and cultivating optimism, you can create a life that is rich with meaning, joy, and vitality. Now, you might be wondering, how can I begin to incorporate these behaviors into my own life? The truth is, the process doesn't need to be overwhelming. You don't have to change everything at once. Start with small, manageable steps. If you're interested in lifelong learning, perhaps start with something that's always intrigued you. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to cook a new cuisine, or try painting, or even learn how to use a new app. Take it one step at a time, and as you start seeing progress, you'll feel motivated to continue. For social connections, think about someone you'd like to reconnect with. Perhaps a friend or relative you haven't spoken to in a while. Reach out and see if you can schedule a lunch, phone call, or meetup. Sometimes, the simplest connections can have the biggest impact. To integrate natural movement into your life, start by simply walking more. If you're going to the grocery store, take a stroll around the block. If you can, try to add more intentional movement, like stretching or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. If you don't yet feel a strong sense of purpose, try exploring new ways to contribute to your community. Whether through volunteering, mentoring, or simply helping a neighbor, finding a role that feels meaningful can reignite your motivation. And finally, if you haven't already, begin a gratitude practice. Whether it's writing in a journal each night or simply reflecting on what you're thankful for in the morning, taking time to appreciate the good things in life will help nurture an optimistic mindset. By gradually incorporating these behaviors, you'll start to see their positive impact on your life. The key is consistency. Small changes add up over time, and before you know it, you'll be living a life that feels more purposeful, connected, and full of joy. Remember, age is not a limitation. It's an opportunity, a chance to embrace new challenges, deepen connections, and live with meaning. As you move forward, keep in mind the lessons you've learned today. The power of lifelong learning, the importance of social bonds, the value of staying active, the beauty of purpose, and the strength of optimism. Which of these steps will you take today to start living with more intention and joy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you plan to implement these behaviors into your life. As we come to the final part of this journey, it's essential to reflect on everything we've discussed and how you can apply these insights to your own life. The 5 behaviors we've explored, lifelong learning, strong social connections, natural movement, a sense of purpose, and optimism, are not just habits that centenarians practice. They're the foundation of a fulfilling, healthy, and vibrant life, no matter your age. You've already learned how these habits work together, creating a powerful synergy that supports both your physical and emotional well-being. But it's important to remember that the benefits of adopting these behaviors are not just theoretical. They are backed by decades of scientific research and real-life examples. These habits are proven to make a difference, and the good news is, it's never too late to start. The stories we've shared, from Ruby learning coding in her 70s, to Stanley reconnecting with life through community gardening, to Grace finding fulfillment through painting, are just a few examples of how adopting these habits can radically transform your life. These aren't extraordinary people. They're everyday individuals who made small, intentional choices to improve their lives, and as a result, they've experienced profound benefits. The same is true for you. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, you have the power to change the course of your life. And while it may seem overwhelming to try and embrace all 5 behaviors at once, remember, small changes can lead to extraordinary results. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to take the first step, and then another, and another. So, where do you begin? Start with what resonates most with you. If you're passionate about learning something new, dive into a course or hobby that excites you. If you've been feeling isolated, reach out to someone you care about, or find a group in your community that shares your interests. If you're not moving as much as you'd like, try walking around the block or taking the stairs. Every little bit adds up. If you haven't found your sense of purpose yet, explore volunteer opportunities or connect with a cause that speaks to you. And if you're struggling with staying optimistic, begin a daily gratitude practice. Just a few minutes each day can shift your entire perspective. It's also important to recognize that aging isn't a one-way path toward decline. It's a journey filled with opportunities for growth, connection, and joy. Every new phase of life offers its own set of challenges, but also its own rewards. The choice is yours. Will you approach aging as a time of loss, or as a time to lean into the wisdom, resilience, and possibilities that come with it? As you think about the future, ask yourself, what do I want my later years to look like? Do I want to be stuck in a cycle of stagnation, or do I want to thrive, continuing to learn, grow, connect, and live with purpose? By embracing these 5 behaviors, you can not only add years to your life, but you can also add life to those years. You can make every day count, no matter how old you are. Whether you're learning a new skill, strengthening your social connections, staying active through daily movements, finding purpose in your contributions, or practicing gratitude and optimism, you're creating a path to a more meaningful and joyful life. Now, it's time for you to take action. What's one thing you can do today to start implementing one of these 5 habits into your life? It could be something small, like calling a friend or signing up for a new class. But whatever it is, take that step and know that each small effort will have a lasting impact. Thank you for joining me on this journey to better health and happiness. I truly believe that you have everything you need to live a long, fulfilling life, one that is filled with purpose, joy, and connection. If you're still here and have found these lessons valuable, leave a comment below and share one key takeaway that you're excited to put into practice. And don't forget to like this video, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to the channel so you can continue receiving life-changing insights. Here's to living a life full of meaning, growth, and vitality, no matter your age.